Last week we met with Alex Dovek to play, just to practice together, which I thought was
Yeah.
very nice. At least I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
For
yeah.
you, it was the first time to play with um, others or to practice with others. How was that for you?
Good. It was helpful to be in the group environment. It kind of forces you to practice for a long time.
Yeah.
But also, it was good to see both your technique and Alex's technique and see how that works. And I almost wish I could just stop playing and watch, because I had to concentrate so much on playing. But
Yeah.
yeah, part of me wanted to stop and just study what was happening. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Was there anything in particular that you did see in our techniques that stuck with you?
That is a good question. Nothing comes immediately to mind. I'm sure there were things, but
Yeah.
I would have to think about that more. But
Yeah, I think, well, I'm sure you are aware of that, but Alex started like 15 years ago, maybe,
yeah,
under my guidance already.
yeah,
And so back then I didn't have as much knowledge as I have now, but you already have like your technique is already better potentially than ours.
well,
It's true. It's true because you're starting from that place where all the experience from the last 15 years is kind of like part of what I'm passing on. So it's what I'm saying is that I'm serious about that. That the way that you move, even though you're maybe still insecure in some, sometimes, is going to be better in the end than how I do it.
wow,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously my technique still needs work. Like it'll be many hours of practice before I can do the things that you can do.
Yes.
But
Yes. Yes.
that's
But the foundation is
Right.
already there, so that I can
Yeah.
see that we won't have to correct the foundation in 5 years, right?
Right,
But
that's
with
good,
me
yeah.
and also with others, there's always something to correct that is being carried over from the past, and I can see like there's so much more, like just even this idea of like moving to the note is much more pronounced in you, and I can always see that, like that you're making this, there it's. I'm not sure. Like maybe you're making it consciously, like this
Yeah.
thing going to the note, but it looks to me as if it's something that's now starting to happen subconsciously,
Yeah.
and it's actually amazing to see that. So that
Wow.
there's no more of this
yeah,
happening
yeah,
so much.
yeah. I catch myself sometimes, and I have to consciously correct it. But yeah, it is starting to become automatic,
Yeah.
which is cool.
So
yeah.
what did you work on in the past 2 weeks then?
Yeah, so my latest project is I started working on that Bach cello
Yes.
suite,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I don't know if you want to look at that today and maybe help me with that, or
Sure.
yeah, I don't know.
Sure. So did you concentrate on that one exclusively, or did you? Well, I only sent it to you a week ago, the piece, right?
Yeah, I just started a few days ago, so
Yeah,
I only
yeah.
know some parts of it, but
Yeah. Did you make any progress with the exercises?
yeah, a little bit here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't as strongly focused as some of the other weeks, but I did try and do a little bit of everything just to maintain.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And was there anything that you observed that's worth sharing, or is it just more of the same, or just?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of more the same.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did actually want to ask you, this is a different topic, but one of the things that's really important about technique,
Mm-hmm.
of course you want the technique to work for the music, you want it to be effective for that, but also you want to avoid injuries.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask, what are the most common injuries on touch instruments that I need to be careful of?
I think again, starting with this technique where you're basically your focus is on moving, the risk of injury is pretty low.
Okay.
Because you're not getting stiff in one position, and then you're trying. You're not kind of coming from tension.
Right.
You're coming from relaxation because you do move already, and that means the body has to be looser to do that. So the risk is with more like exercises that make you, or pieces that make you hold down notes while other fingers are playing. It's the so-called anchoring, which is kind of like the idea on which is the grandparents level of the family.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but we haven't gone there yet.
Right.
So I don't think I don't think you have anything yet that can potentially hurt you or injure you.
Gotcha.
It's well, it's probably like the back for some people, right? Like if you don't standing properly, if you don't have a sense of, where your shoulder is and stuff like that, and but you're doing extremely great with that. Like it's
the back. It doesn't seem to be a problem yet.
So it's usually like the lower right of your back, which people get problems with, but to me it looks like I wouldn't expect you getting any trouble.
Okay. Yeah.
Really.
Good. Yeah.
And like the repetitive strain injury thing is really, as it says, it's a repetitive strain.
Yeah.
So if you're taking the strain out of the repetition, it's
not a problem.
Do you feel anything on your hands that is?
The only I don't feel anything that seems like a problem, but I can feel a little bit of tension sometimes with the left hand if I'm not careful with the angle.
Yes.
And so that's the only thing that makes me think, okay, I need to be careful here. It's not a problem yet, but if I do it wrong, that could become an issue.
Yes. And just imagine that like the idea is also here that this should be loose.
Yeah.
Like, so you're absolutely right, you want this straight, but if it's not straight, then don't stiffen it up in one position, but just make sure that it's loose. And always, I know I don't want to do it again because people loved it so much, the handshake. I don't want to, but that's what it is. We always want to return to this idea of the handshake, where the hand is loose, right, and straight at the same time, right, and that's what you want to do.
Okay.
And yes, it's related to the thumb also, because like sometimes like the strain comes from like not really like, also this direction is very important, like turning the arm here at the elbow. You're doing that very, very well, but just see, like if you let go of the strings for the moment and you turn your hand outwards, inwards, that would be outwards, right? So exactly. So this, a little bit of this should also always be there. Yeah. Right.
And I think we've
with the right hand, it's sort of like a non-issue for the right hand. For the left hand, the problem is the wrist. Okay. Which if you push the elbow forward too much, you get this kind of thing going, which you don't want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to ask because it's not a problem now, but always
but with,
good to be aware.
With the Bach piece, I think there is more of a risk to be tense, because you will also have to remember more information. And usually what happens if the intellect gets in the way of the body, right? Then there's potentially more tension in the body that you're not aware of.
Right.
But I think you're experienced enough to notice when that happens. So we can work on that. We can work on the piece and just see what happens.
Okay. So I think maybe the beginning kind of riff is maybe an example of there's a interesting move that has to happen here, like either let me just play it.
Play in G. Just play.
That would be a great idea, huh? Yeah. Or I always want to play it in 3. I forget. But either way, it's that first measure only that has this.
Yeah, let's concentrate on one. Yeah.
Right. So
did you print out the score?
I have it on my iPad.
Okay. So let's
Well,
just
yeah.
you see that there's already at the top there's this thing which says "let ring," yeah, or what does it say?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So so the fingering that you use there, I could already see is not effective for letting the notes ring.
Okay.
Right. And you see like if you just let's just stick with the first measure for now.
All right.
So even without consulting this,
Sure.
let's look at it. So start on the G. G. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's experiment a little bit with. Okay, yeah, you're doing pretty well there. Okay, so if you wanted to just play those as single notes that don't sustain,
Oh yeah. Right.
then you
right,
do
right.
like what you did, like 1,
Right,
3.
right.
Yeah? Just, and
Yeah.
you can let it sustain as well.
Or would I?
Yeah, exactly.
I see.
You can even leave these two
Yeah.
down, like the G and the D, and then play the A with the third finger.
A with the.
Yes, you could on the next string over. Yes, it's possible.
Is it really?
Yeah. You see there, as you can see, you have to assume a different position
Yeah.
with your body in order to play that. Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Let's see.
Huh.
Yeah, that's exactly what Tobias was right.
Huh.
Yes, there you go.
And should I be doing like a?
No.
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 Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
Huh. Yeah. Wow, it's a lot harder, but it sounds nice. And then.
So try to play the
Yeah.
and just stay on it. Just loop it. So now you see, like, some people that write comments on your videos, like say, okay, why don't you start like playing a piece of music or whatever? It's exactly because of this. So what will happen? You will play something like this, which is considered to be easy, right?
Right.
And you'll get into a habit of believing that this is the way you should play. No, this is an exception, and every single bar or 4-note phrase is going to be an individual puzzle you have to solve, right?
Yeah.
So here it seems like you really have to you have to hold like sometimes 3 notes down and the same fret, and you can see like you have to change the angle here a little bit, and you have to like the pinky kind of like gets away from the strings and for a moment, and it's fine because that's what you need there.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's an exception.
So you really like this measure. This one measure is is an exercise. You loop it, and you get into and so now this energy transfer from finger to finger, this small ball of fire, is going to be very important because especially like melodically, because you want to go da 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 da. So the B A B D, whatever it is, right? So So try that again. So just play it, and you can be slower. Just do. Yes. Great.
Yeah, it's awkward.
So what happens? This is a so-called black sheep within the family, because this is not what you would do in order to practice the pure technique, right? Because now we're already anchoring notes. You have to sort of like on the D, the second finger has to kind of like repeat without, like you're repeating one finger there.
Yeah, right.
Which is, we usually don't want to do that, and you can already tell why normally in normal circumstances you wouldn't do that, because it's difficult to control. It's very hard to repeat that same finger under tension on the same string. Yeah. So try it again. Just practice it again. Great. So you can practice that on your own.
Of
Just
course,
pay attention, and you'll have to decide. Do you want to sustain the D as well, or just the G, just the lowest note, or also the fifth?
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think there's a recommendation there in the score, so look at that and just figure it out from that.
Gotcha.
Okay. So the next measure, as you.
Yeah, that should be easier.
Okay, so now you see what's happening. So again, if you want to kind of like transfer the same kind of articulation over, right? Yeah. What you're doing now, you're playing the 3 top notes with 2 fingers of the right hand.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so but we have these fingers available. So if you wanted to keep the between right and left feel of the top 2 notes, then you would play yes, exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that would also give you the option even to hold this note down if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you necessarily want to, but you see, this way you distributed the fingers like 2 notes per hand, and
okay. Yeah, that's easier.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So you see, like the reason why I'm being so strict with things is that like we don't think that way automatically to distribute the fingers between the hands, the notes between the hands. What happens is like we think, okay, like boom and diddle diddle diddle. We don't automatically think of the notes going back and forth between the hands.
Right.
So that's why you always need to force yourself to think that way.
Yeah.
So the first question should be, what if I try to play these 4 notes with both hands? Yeah. And then you see it's obvious. Okay, yeah, pinky is already there.
Yeah, right.
So why not use it?
Yeah.
Okay, so just loop this measure. So now we're getting great. Okay, we're getting into interesting territory now. So we're trying to play music.
Yeah.
When we play music, we have to look at every single, like I said, phrase as sort of like a puzzle. Like, how can we make that sound the best?
Yeah.
And so here now on the middle string, you have the first finger of the right hand. You're playing the E. And so what happens there, if you take that finger off, there's potential for that bumpy open string sound.
Yeah, right.
Because like there's no other finger on that string below it. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So, however, if you're looking at this now, and you can see from a muting perspective, you could do that.
Yes. Yeah.
So you see now we're getting into like a really complex situation.
Yeah.
So the second finger or the third finger could be sitting here on that string under the first finger, and could be like slightly touching the string again, like full release for 2 fingers, and you see, like, so now first finger holds a note, second and or third finger mute the string, pinky plays the B.
Yeah.
So it's complex. So like
It
one
is,
hand is
yeah.
doing like three things now.
Right. Huh. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now in this case, what you also always need to do, really try to play loud. So as like the default for practice,
Yeah.
I'll play loud.
Okay.
Okay, so with practicing melodies, with drums it may not make that much sense, but with melodies what you can do is you can even take these micro things, like you could go just in the notes C, C, B, C, yeah, just the top two notes.
Yeah.
You can kind of take that slice and loop it. So you can
Yeah.
to practice that.
Yeah, that's a whole, could be a whole exercise by itself. I mean, this whole idea that happens with the pentachords too, like going between hands.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's it's tricky.
Yes.
Trying to keep the high note sustained as long as possible, but not too long that you mute the next note.
So remember I may have used this metaphor before. It's like scales.
Yes.
Like you have weights on both sides, and it, you know, when one side goes up, the other one goes down.
Yeah.
That's the sort of, and back then, like 25 years ago, I call that like the reflex. There's sort of like, there should be like the reflex between two actions, that like the one comes up, the other comes down, blah blah, and you need to kind of develop a sense for that. And what I use nowadays is this ball of fire. So if you imagine the energy, right, of the notes, like transferring from between the B and the C, or the C and the B, going back and forth, then you can get it right. So just try again. And so what happens then is you kind of like need to see both hands as almost, you have to experience it as one hand.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we don't have much practice. Like maybe if you're juggling, or also drummer, you have that sense of like something can go back and forth, right?
Sure. Yeah.
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 But usually we don't do that so much with our hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So just slow it down again. So
Yeah.
Boom, 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 for example, we can try that. Tobias, in his fingering, he suggests to play the B with the third finger. So you could try that instead. See, it's also an option, and it works almost as well. I think if you really wanted to take advantage of fingers 2 and 3 muting the string in the middle string, then the pinky is definitely a better choice.
Yeah, sure. And it's also less stretching.
Yeah, exactly. So now try to go between the two. The first two measures.
Yeah.
pieces that are like very very self-contained, like this Bach piece, for example. You what happens is that like the composition starts with a cell, a musical cell, that sort of sets the not just the mood but also the mode of operation somehow, and it's like always the same pattern, you could say, right? So that means that practicing these first two measures for a while will sort of set you up for the whole piece. Like where normally I would say you should kind of like make sure you practice everything evenly, but with a piece like this it's absolutely fine to just say, okay, I'm going to take the first two measures and get really comfortable with them before even moving on.
Right.
Because they sort of, the first two measures already encapsulate what the piece is about and what the technique will be.
Gotcha.
And I mean, unlike pieces where you have four measures of one sound and four measures of something completely different, but here it's so uniform that taking the first two measures will really and practice them like not like as a piece of music but as an exercise will then set you up for it.
Gotcha.
So now let's just for the fun of it, okay, if we consider it as an exercise now, what we can do is we can move it around. Okay, so what happens if you play 2 frets lower? So you start on F. You were already there. You were already on the F.
I was.
Okay. So just play the same thing there.
Angle is hard to not buzz on that.
Don't worry. So let's just look at hold the first note, the F. Okay, so now go here and play the so going between yes, and just take that. Now to use the second finger for because it's the first finger here that
right.
That's
right.
You can see here is that even like, yes, you just did something great there. So even your fingers have to be able to just even like move sideways. I don't know how you would even like it's here, it's the like, so in a way you could say like you get a little bit of a swivel here, right, like this, to make sure that this finger, yes, there you go.
Gotcha. My hand does that. It doesn't hurt.
Chiropractic adjustment here.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. I don't know why, but
Yeah. Very nice.
yeah.
So here is like an addition to the touch release move, which you already understand and do pretty well. Okay, so we have to also think some sort of, while we're playing a note, so while the note is being touched or it's sustaining, you can think, relax.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
So like, even though the first finger is held down, it does not mean that it needs any additional pressure or attention even.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you would think of it that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where you can relax. Da, 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 da. Try that. And there you go. Something very simple, and once we start looking at doing it right, at first it seems like it's something that's impossible to solve.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, you can already see progress.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what's the next measure?
The next measure is again, so to apply your knowledge here. So you wouldn't want to play the top 3 notes with one hand. Right.
Okay, and now this is an interesting situation. Now you go, like, the pattern goes between these 2 notes, where they also want to sound. It also wants to sound smooth.
Yeah.
So just try again the way that you're doing it right now. Yeah. Da, da, da. You see, that's a little bit of a.
That one?
Yeah, it doesn't sound so good. So now let's see which options we have. Okay, so you can see that on the top string of the 3, you have a minor second interval. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So minor second interval, you could also play that with 3 and yes. So see what happens.
Oof, I don't know about that. That's a big stretch. I mean, yeah, theoretically possible, but.
So also play the note in between so that you get a sense of the melody. Yes.
That doesn't seem like a good
Yeah, I know. Just, like, just asking you to go and consider all options.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. let's go back to the other way of doing it, the way that you're doing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now here you're going between third and first finger, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
What would it sound like if you would go between third and second finger? Also works, huh?
Yeah.
So now look at the measure before. It's almost the same. It's only one note changes, right?
Right. It's just this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually does make sense.
Yeah.
To do it that way then.
Yeah. Nice. Repeat.
Yeah.
Okay, now try the first three measures.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's the last one. Oh, so there, I could do that for the last measure, the fourth measure.
Yes.
I don't know. I've got
Okay, let's go through the notes that you're playing. So you're playing well, let's go back to G.
Yeah.
Let's go back up 2 frets. Okay.
Okay.
Or original key, at least of the score we have here.
Yeah.
Okay, which notes do we have in the fourth measure? So an octave, right? And then the third, or the 10th, and the 9th. So this is interesting. And again, even if we're not going to use fingering that we're going to explore, we would need to look at it anyway.
Okay.
So which other option do we have? So you see, now with your knowledge of the pentachords, you should already know that, because you're playing the octave here, and you're playing a 9th here, right? So it's a whole step between the G and the A,
Right.
right? So exactly. So it means you have the A there as well. So now you could play the G and the A
Right.
on the middle string.
Right.
You're on the same
forget-
string. That's why the octave is.
Oh, yeah.
between- yeah.
Yeah.
So and then you get pinky here for the B, but you would actually play the A here. So da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's interesting,
Yeah.
right? And like if you imagine if you could play a whole piece like that, would be awesome.
Yeah.
Where
Right.
it always follows the same pattern between the hands,
Yeah.
right? But we don't have that luxury with Bach's piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. The holding down notes makes this whole thing a lot harder.
Yes.
Because Because I thought it was pretty easy to just play. But
You can also play it that way
Sure.
if you want. But the idea of being able to sustain a note, it's
it does sound nice.
but like I said, like from my perspective of building a technique, it's the third layer. It's important to be able to be relaxed and to go to every single note without the restraint of being forced into one position.
Yeah.
But then something like this already shows you, okay, like musical application requires that. So that's why it's important to make that part of what you're capable of doing and able of doing anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At some point. But you have a good foundation, so playing this won't hurt. Like for example, if you go back to playing just a pentachord now, up and down,
Right.
it should even help the feel of this.
Yeah, it feels pretty light and easy.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
And this is usually what happens when we work with a piece of music, is that the repetition we put into the piece of music really helps to build a different kind of muscle.
Yeah.
It's I don't know how I would call it. It's something that sits right in between effortless freedom and disciplined practice, and it's that in between muscle that really helps if that gets massaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's also nice to explore a piece of music, and then you can see how the techniques apply, and
Yes.
You get a different perspective that you don't have practicing only the exercises.
Yes.
Obviously.
So for example, if you wanted to practice the half step between pinky of the left hand, first finger of the right hand, which pentachord would that be?
Sorry, which pinky and which?
So like in the piece where we have like the B, like and the C, right? And you alternate between them.
Yeah.
So how can you kind of like, where does this exist in a pentachord?
That, well, it exists at the end of a major. If you connect
Yes.
that if this is 1 and a major 7.
Yes.
Or just in.
But it goes, it goes from 4 to 1. Okay.
In the minor Aeolian pentachord, you have. Or no, you don't. That's not right.
Yeah. Don't try to solve the whole puzzle at once. Just start with looking at like which orientation of the bracket. Is it forward or is it reversed?
It's crossed. I don't remember which one is
no,
forward.
It's uncrossed. Because you're on one string.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And you go from fourth to first finger.
Right. This never happens in the crossed.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it means it's the reverse bracket.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So and then you just need to see. Okay. So if this is my root, let's say, you can make this a root, which would be like a D here. You can see it's D Dorian, reverse bracket.
Okay.
So, but here in this bracket would be. Remember that the handfuls of the pentachords are one. Like so. For example, you would have the second finger here. If the first finger is here, the fourth finger is here. Second finger would be here.
Yeah.
So
right.
Just play the B again here. Yeah. And then you would have the A here, but with the second finger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you have the C here. Play the C here again. Okay. So where would you have which finger would you use to play the notes below? Do you understand? So we have D here, C. If you want to play Dorian scale going down, D, C, B, A. Those are the 4 notes we have here.
Okay.
So play D. No, play D and a C. D is the 3rd finger. Yes. And second finger for A.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's your D, C, B, A. It's now G. So now you need to understand. So which pentachord are these 2 notes, the top 2 notes
of the Dorian? But I'm just confused because we're starting at the top and going down. But
yes, I know.
But I can
and what
find
we're
it,
talking, you know, this is interesting. Because this you'll learn a lot from this. Okay, so we're thinking to play the notes of the D Dorian scale. We're not necessarily applying something that we would call a Dorian pentachord.
Right.
See, this is kind of like also where it gets confusing.
Okay.
Right. Okay, but we have the 3rd finger on a D, the 1st finger on a C. Then the 4th finger on a B, and a 2nd finger, and then exactly. That's G.
Yeah.
With a pinky. Yes, and then no. 1st finger for E. See, you need to continue. Yes. So it's a Phrygian pentachord.
Oh, I thought we were playing Dorian.
That's what I'm saying. We're playing a Dorian scale, but the hands
okay.
are in a Phrygian
position.
I
see. Yeah.
Right. So this, and okay, so start over. So 3rd finger goes on D. 1st finger, C, yeah. B, A, then G with G, yeah, F, E. Yeah, but here in this case, in the reverse bracket, you would actually have the 4th finger here on the D.
Okay.
But only going to the D. So try it again. So it's really like, it just shows that you have to work more with the reverse bracket to understand more how it works. Okay. So see what we have here. We have the pentachord, the obvious pentachord that we can see here, which is Phrygian. So starting on E. 1. Yes. Yeah. But play the whole pentachord. It's 5 notes. Yes, that's the pentachord.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're playing from E to B within the scale of D Dorian, or within the scale of C major.
I see.
Whatever. Yeah. Right? Okay. So that means if you then extend, you want to go to the next pentachord, which would be the Ionian. Yeah. So this hand is 1st and 2nd note of the Ionian pentachord.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't make sense at the beginning because I didn't understand. But yeah.
I know. So just try to play the scale going down this way, starting on D.
Okay.
And yes, exactly.
Oh, stop there.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And 1 and 3. Yes.
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Okay. So, and like the why did we even get here? Okay, we wanted to have a bracket where we go between B and C.
Okay. Yeah.
With pinky and 1st finger.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you can experiment with just playing those 2 notes, and you kind of like alternate those 2 notes with other notes. So you go like, for example, you go D, B. No, the B is there. Yeah. So D, da da da. No. You always want to kind of like train these notes, these 2 notes, these 2 fingers, so the B and the C.
Okay.
So just imagine like da 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 da, but then you play another note and da 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 da, another random note. Da 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 da. Yeah, just slow it down. Okay, and then you can start adding notes on the lower string. So the G, you played with the pinky. Yes, yes. Yes, very nice.
And that's
This is the,
the D.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can kind of explore the chromatic space around this as well.
Yeah.
Or you can do something like, okay, it's just to push you a little bit. So imagine, like, remember we have the 4 fret spaces that we could potentially use. So now let's do something where we have to stretch. Okay, you can hold this note, no matter what it is. We don't think about. Okay, hold that note, play it and hold it, and then play. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So it's very much possible. It's not that hard. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But just try again. So you hold this note and then you play da da da. Yeah, da da da. Yes. Yes. Half step down with the first finger of the hand.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good. That feels dangerous. Here. Yeah, my hand won't stretch anymore.
So you see here, even though it's something we'll get to, you should never ever start like that, and you can see why.
Right. Yeah.
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 Yeah. But it's possible, and it will come easy for you as well, at some point when you're not thinking about it anymore.
Right? Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. So I guess that's a lot.
Sure. Yeah.
If you,
definitely.
Can you just remind me what I showed you last time, which was 2 weeks ago? Do you remember?
What did we do 2 weeks ago? We were improvising.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, we did that. And what else? Do you remember? Did we do more Centipede and Yoko or something like that? Did I show you the paradiddle thing?
No.
Okay.
You want to do that? Or
You want to learn that? We talked a lot about this third level of technique with the anchoring and stuff. So I'm going to give you the preparation for the grandfather exercise.
Okay.
And it's cool. It's very fun. You will enjoy it. It's it's like a father-ish exercise. So it's on the side of where we take the 24 finger patterns.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to start with the descending fingering. So it's 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
So the sequence of fingers will always be 4, 3, 2, 1, or a rotation off. So rotation off meaning like 3, 3, 2, 1, 4 would be, right?
Yeah.
And 2, 1, 4, 3.
Yeah.
And then 1, 4, 3, 2. So
Yeah.
we're going to be using 4 patterns, you could say.
Okay.
Okay. But the parent pattern is 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, exactly. And now this time we're gonna apply this pattern to both hands. You put your hands into like a cross position on one string, so just our regular covering 8 frets thing. And yes, starting on C exactly, just as a starting point. Yeah, or D. It's maybe easier to pick up B on D. Okay.
Yeah.
So so what we're going to do is we're going to always play through the fingers in the sequence of 4-3-2-1 for this part of the exercise. Okay, so but we're going to follow a paradiddle pattern between the hands, and we're going to start with right. So it's going to be right, left, right, right, and then left, right, left, left to get through the 8 fingers that we have. So it will be pinky, pinky, third finger on the right hand. Yes. Yes, exactly, exactly. So just try to loop that.
Okay.
Yes. Just try to keep a steady tempo. So now the second part is where we reverse the sticking.
Okay.
Okay, so now we used to start, yes.
Left, right, left, right.
Yes. So great. So help me find a good word for sticking, but related to this. Could we call it handing, or
we could? That
sounds weird.
Sounds weird. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what it kind of is. It's handing.
I guess. I feel like we can find a better word. But
yes, yeah. Let's think about it. Okay. So now we're gonna put these two together.
Yeah.
So you have the paradiddle starting right, play through once, and then you have the paradiddle starting on the left.
Okay. Yeah. Nope.
No. Yes. No. 4/4.
Yeah, that was it though. No.
Yes. So you see, this will give you exactly at least one of the things we need for the Bach piece.
Okay.
Like going between all the all the fingers of the two hands, passing the note between the fingers of the two hands.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Like, and you want to have this idea of this little ball fire jumping. Let's try that again and you can slow it down. So it goes really like ding, ding. So it's like there's the scales going like this all the time. And you want the movement of the scales to be the same, no matter if it's between the hands or within a hand.
Right.
It's what the paradiddle does.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Okay. Then both of them.
Very good. Okay, so now this is the first fourth of the grandfather pattern. So now the second set, let's say, is the one where you start on the third finger and you go 3, 2, 1, 4.
Okay.
But still always applying the same paradiddle though.
Gotcha.
And that way, the patterns kind of like move against each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
We won't have to go through everything,
Sure.
but let's just so let's try this one just so the concept is clear.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, just loop this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 1, 4.
Yeah.
In the left hand at the end. Yes.
Yeah, it's almost distracting to listen to. It's better just to ignore the sounds, maybe, and look at it.
Yeah, because you're expecting it to continue to sound like the other one, but it doesn't, of course.
Okay.
Yes. 2, 4, 1, 4.
Yeah.
Okay, and then handing gets reversed.
Right.
And second finger in the right hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that right? Oh yeah. Okay, so then.
No, it's the second finger. It goes from 3
Oh,
to
that's
2.
fine.
So 3, 2, 1. No.
I know. Just I need a second to work it out in my head. No, yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Wow. Yeah, it's a tongue twister, a mind twister.
Yes. And there are then 4 of these, right?
Yeah.
And that makes the full grandfather pattern to learn.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, continue.
And that will be the foundation for the anchoring exercise, so where we will be holding down notes while the notes play.
Okay, cool. Well,
yeah, and I mean,
I'll
it's
work on
interesting
that,
because
yeah.
when we played with Alex last week, he said something to me like that you should and could already play the grandfather exercise, and I agree.
Okay.
Because you know, you picked it up very quickly here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has all these
right.
elements that we find in the Bach piece that are challenging, like going between two notes, anchoring, having to stretch fingers and stuff like that. It's all going to be here in this.
Yeah, and that's cool that you have all the different combinations going from different fingers to each other.
Yes.
I don't know if it's all of them, but it might.
It's
be
not
a
all
lot.
of them, because that has been like one of my major focuses to make sure things are still within the realm of possibility to like to go through them in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There must be so many combinations.
Yeah. And but you know, the idea of kind of like dividing it up into like fingering sequence per hand and the sticking pattern, the handing pattern, really makes it very manageable.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That's great. All right. Well.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Good lesson. Yeah.
Yes.